Yeah, back away from the mic.
Sorry, loud voice.
Sorry, I couldn't get past the first 5 minutes when I saw Mojo Jojo in the giant monkey form. Is like, really? This is like, it made me sad. It killed me inside.
Oh yeah, just because the girls can grow up means the monkey can't grow up. Right?
Compared to all the times the American versions had Mojo with some ridiculous plan, I mean, the dog episode happened twice. Come on. And you still didn't get it right.
You got it right the third time.
All right, let's open it up to some people. Oh, all right, fine. Let's start off on a high note. Come on up, Angelo.
Okay, so first of all, I want to give you props for your counter argument being come on. But I actually have a very important question to ask. It might be one of the most important questions ever posed to Parliament. If the Powerpuff Girls are adapted into Japanese anime, can we force them to wear kimonos? And more specifically, can we force the giant monsters and Mojo Jojo to wear kimonos? I think it's very important that we force them to wear kimonos in at least one episode.
Angela. All right, whoa. Angela, why do you start this? If this was a 2-hour panel, I would be happy to go on this tangent. I really wish I could, but all in favor of making the Powerpuff Girls wear a kimono? Done. All right, there's your answers.
Sustained.
They actually already did it.
Well,
We only watched 5 episodes.
then we won, didn't we?
Wow.
All right.
I gave up.
Pokemon, so I'm guessing you're some kind of trainer? She's got the hat.
Gilligan trainer.
Preschooler Lisa?
Do you have an Espeon?
No.
Then sit down.
All right, well, I do agree with like the different tastes in Japanese animation and American animation. I have to bring up one point about Powerpuff Girls Z. Why do the transformation scenes take 10 minutes to take place? They're longer than Sailor Moon.
Whoa.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Sailor Moon, half the episode was transformations.
They are magical, they have superpowers, they got them from an asteroid.
It's because it was adapted into Japanese that they gained 10-minute transformations.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I got through the entirety of the Sailor Moon Stars series in about 5 hours because I stopped watching the opening ending credits and all the attacks. It was like 3 lines of dialogue and that was it. I actually watched the show and not the extra stuff, yes. You look so eager to make a comment.
Alright, so while I get where you're both coming from, I think that spin-offs in their own right, as long as they don't directly slander the original, I think they're kind of interesting and they give you a different spin on things. Like, if anybody in here has seen BBC Sherlock, I know that's not an anime, but No, I thought he did.
It wasn't even your case, Angela.
An anime USA, we can do it. Which one do you want?
The show Elementary, if anybody's seen that, it's kind of like Sherlock BBC. It was originally intended to be a spin-off of Sherlock BBC. They actually asked permission and they were denied, so they just were like, let's do it anyway. But they're both interesting in their own right, and while I prefer Sherlock BBC, I think Elementary has a different spin on things that's really interesting, so I think spin-offs are pretty cool, and I have to side with you.
The noble representative from the Normandy. I love Mass Effect. All in favor of Mass Effect.
You didn't put your hand up?
There weren't enough people raising their hands on that one.
Let's do it again.
No, let's not.
So, the way that you put your original argument was that it seemed like you didn't want them to evolve, and if shows didn't evolve, we wouldn't have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Ooh. Or Hellsing Ultimate, for that matter.
I will defend on one thing. Brotherhood actually was the manga first. They screwed up on the anime.
Now, I have something I'd like to bring up real quick here. So, Now, the anime version of Powerpuff Girls happened after, and they're middle school students in that. So, how do we know what sugar, spice, and everything nice does to the puberty process? Like, is it possible? Is it certainly possible that that is exactly what they would have looked like, even if the American show had continued?
Actually,
we don't know.
Actually, no, because the very final episodes, the girls were teenagers and they were like trying to sugarcoat with the Roddy Rough Boys in the fall. So
Snake, you had something to say, or are you shutting up now? Okay then, with the chain. Don't we all?
Zoinks!
My argument's more of an analogy. Who likes Chinese food? The stuff you're eating here is not 100% authentic. That doesn't mean we shouldn't ban it.
I believe the situation is simple. They became magical girls. Everyone knows magical girls are brought forth via magical girl deliverance entities, and thus they are covered under the contract and legally protected from this slander.
Got a point.
Thank you. Thank you.
I take it I'm losing the argument.
No. You are. Well, let's put the nail in the coffin here.
Another fair point, if you want to reject all spin-offs, you have to pretty much reject all of Marvel in its entirety.
That would be the nail we were looking for.
I believe the case rests.
Okay. All those who believe that Powerpuff Girls have every conceivable right to be portrayed in anime. Good work, guys. Good work.
Yep.
Wow, that was the first ultra unanimous I've ever had.
Welcome to Parliament.
Yeah. Squid Girl? Panty and stocking and buttercup. Whenever you're ready.
I would like to convict Shinigami from Soul Eater of corruption of youth and child endangerment. Now, as for corruption of youth, he sends children. We can all agree that perhaps the children in the Death Weapon Meister Academy are younger than 16. Age of consent is 14, yes.
I think we just deflated it. I think we broke it. He joined the circuit.
So he's conscripting child soldiers and sending them on witch hunts.
Yeah, Snake, go ahead.
I must argue there's nothing wrong with sending children to military school.
Yeah, okay. I'll get to you, I promise you. Practically jumping out of your chair. I see you. I'm looking right at you. I see you. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so on the military school thing, it's all fun and good unless they die. It's not as fun.
Yeah, naming is just fine if they die. We have a problem.
Yeah.
And I mean,
that's what waivers are for.
with Soul Eater, Soul gets exposed to the black blood, and then at one point in time, he and Maka fall from the middle of the sky straight down. Yeah, but they still got hurt.
let's not forget about coping with insane amounts of insanity.
Like, we've seen what happened to Death the Kid.
The one who was flipping out before put her hand up. Yes. Come on. Come on. You can not you, the one behind you. You're next, right? All right, both of you come up.
Come on.
And you can go afterward. Jeez, why is this so difficult? There's so many people.
Now both you stalk at exactly the same time. No.
What was your second point? The first was reckless endangerment of children. The second was corruption of youth. Corruption of youth. Okay. If we can't agree that corruption of children and reckless endangerment of children, could we agree with reckless endangerment of life? So corruption of children and endangerment of life. That's my proposal, just as an adjustment. Right?
We'll get to her next time.
Question. How old is Naruto exactly when he first joins Ninja Academy? Okay. And during the first mission, they had like the possibility of dying like at least 5 times, correct? So then, if by your logic we'd have to ban the Ninja Academy, something that like trains ninjas in order to protect the Hope Leaf Village, are we okay with that?
So I guess what are we trying to argue that all in favor of Soul Eater being a reason to ban Naruto? And people start raising their hands.
Suddenly this has evolved.
All right, I like your point. I love where that went. Let's explore that later on. Yes. That's okay. Go the long way around. We don't have like, I don't know, 40 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
So, quick question. Would we call all the Meisters in the Academy more or less magical girls?
Oh.
And are they under a contract for graduation?
I think one of the criteria for being a magical girl is a transformation sequence.
Good point. Very good point. You've never had to sit there for 10 minutes waiting for something to happen, so yeah.
To my knowledge, Cardcaptor Sakura has no transformation.
I'm thinking.
Wait. This is the foremost clam authority in the world.
But she doesn't. She doesn't.
Yes, she has a creepy stalker.
And she goes to a bus and gets
I'm not sure which one of the two of you to pick, so both of you stand up and come in. I'll get to you in a second, Ricardo.
The wand transforms, but she does not.
That's true. Yeah, the wand transforms. Does the wand count? Because the wand transforms.
Do weapons count as people?
I don't think so.
Now we're getting to human rights?
Weapons don't kill people. Weapons that are people kill people. And once
Weapons
again,
that
I
are
think we have
people
our
kill
line for the
witches.
session. What was that? Sure, why not? Second row in the end, yes. You'll be next.
While I agree with all the points, I'd also like to bring up the charge of knowingly allowing human experimentation, because not only Krona, but whatever happened a long, long time ago to allow weapons to exist in the first place, because that's gotta be some sort of... Star Wars
And everything.
Somehow,
Be a
Snake,
soul leader, we can have nothing.
Somehow, Snake, I don't think there's any way in hell that argument would carry around here.
Midichlorians say what?
In the blue hair, you had something.
What's this case again?
I just keep thinking, ban Naruto, ban Naruto, ban Naruto.
While you claim child endangerment for Soul Eater, what about every single anime that involves kids rescuing and doing let's see, like Digimon, Pokemon?
Are they all a part of an organized militia?
They had that. I don't know.
What?
Well, some of them they do have their own reason for joining. So. Well, as long as they had that choice.
Yes, well, children running away and endangering themselves is a bit different than having someone of, a parent or a god in this case, organizing children to go fight witches and demons.
All right, let's not, we're going way off on that one. Because then Madoka, we're not doing that, because then Mommy will just lose her head over the whole thing.
Both the universities brought up here for Soul Eater and Naruto, are they not volunteers? They're not being forced by knife, point, gun, whatever, to go to this school and learn to kill and plan it.
It's not a matter of voluntary, it's a matter of age of consent. They're being conscripted before they're of the age of consent. You don't, in this universe, you can't join the army until you're 18, because that's the age of consent.
There you go.
Do we know all the parents are signing off on this?
You sort of have an innocent until proven guilty thing going on here with that.
The more this case goes on, the more I think Harry Potter.
All right.
Harry did not go to Hogwarts on the consent of his legal guardians. They didn't want him to go.
Narutus Explodicus. All right, so let's wrap this one up so we can move on. All those who believe that the Shinigami from Soul Eater are guilty of the corruption of youth. Innocent. What about endangerment of children? Guilty.
Oh, yeah.
Innocent. Oh, this one's going to be close. Okay, guilty one more time. No, I think the guilty.
Yeah, guilty has it.
And then what about ignoring human rights? Guilty. Innocent. All right. So they're guilty. They are guilty of the endangerment of children. So as far as a sentence.
Banning Naruto.
all those who believe that banning Naruto is a suitable punishment for the Shinigami. You gotta give the people what they want.
Wow. The most circular punishment I think we've ever had.
And then we find out they don't even watch Naruto.
Angelo, your challenge for Anime USA is to come up with a case determining why the banning of Naruto is bad for Soul Eater. And you need to link it to My Little Pony somehow and beat me in that argument. Angelo has to bring up a case as to why banning Naruto is a punishment for Soul Eater and link it to My Little Pony somehow.
Manly justice. Okay. I am Franz Medalia, and I would like to sue the Hetalia fandom for defaming, slander, and emotional distress. For those of you who aren't in the fandom frequently makes jokes and accuses me of rape, which I have never done. And to start off, I already have a list of examples pulled from 2 pages of a Google search. Italia has a rapist, A Hetalia fanfic. Bah, France is a rapist. I wonder how many times France has raped Canada. France Italia raping photos. France and Russia raped my OC because they totally are rapist. France the rapist who bore Hetalia Yowie. And my next move, I would like to call 2 witnesses.
All right.
Okay, we swear.
You're sworn.
You're doing it wrong. It's
Swear to me.
He'll just make you sign a contract.
So, both of you use Tumblr, correct?
yeah.
No, you use the internet.
The rest of the internet, yes.
Yes, then she's the Tumblr and she's the rest of the internet.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a representative of the internet.
Is there something wrong with the internet? Has it been demagnetized?
No, but here's the thing. Now that you have been declared as part of the internet, Rule 34.
Okay.
Let's not
get into that right now.
If you don't know Rule 34, you're not old enough to know Rule 34. So let's continue.
All right, so as representatives of Tumblr and the internet, because those are apparently separate.
Where are all your cats?
And supernatural gifts.
She's supernatural.
Oh, all right. There you go.
All right.
Nice.
So, Tumblr representative, you have owned an America blog, correct?
Yeah, it was an America roleplay blog that I owned for a good half of a year.
And in that half of a year, you interacted with many fans, France's other characters.
Yeah, a score of characters.
And would you say that France has an unpopular name and it often revolves around rape?
Yeah, whenever I went through the France tag, I would find a lot of comments about how he is a rapist, or he's done this, or he's done that, and it's all about, like, of a sexual nature, and it's not... It makes me feel really uncomfortable because I love the character of France, but I don't think he deserves what he's getting.
So I find it very funny that we've gotten into a rape case having to do with France. France is known for wine. Wine is made with grapes. Can I get a G-ring?
G-ring!
Thank you. I usually start Parliament with that one, but I wanted to wait for some reason. Because Ricardo is in the audience, I always have to give him a reason to scream that. Because he just doesn't do it in the middle of the New York City anymore. They tend to frown upon that sort of thing. So as you were saying.
And now for the representative of the rest of the internet. I assume your cat's in your costume. Okay, good. So, on your time in the internet, what would you say the general opinion of France is? What would you say the state of his image and name is at this point?
I would like to refer to Exhibit A.
I can read all that from here.
As previously stated, Exhibit A.
Okay.
Would anyone like to argue against me or support me?
Snake. Oh, he looks like he's prepped for battle right now. Look at this.
I would simply like to declare, you cannot really call this a case of defamation, because really, is there anywhere down to go from being France?
Might I just bring up how many Americans come to Paris for the romance?
Well, you know what? I'm amazed. I am absolutely amazed that that France is taking this kind of abuse and hasn't surrendered yet. Deny it.
The wine keeps you calm.
The wine keeps you calm. All right. Yes, sir. With the chain.
Let's be honest, anyone who knows history, France is not a rapist, it's the rape victim.
Point.
I have no comment.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in all fairness, France has kind of a reputation for being a little bit loose. And let's be honest here, you've tried to seduce Britain, you've tried to revive the Olympics in the nude.
That's true.
You kind of have it coming, I think.
I would argue that being comfortable with sex does not mean you are a rapist, it means you are comfortable with sex after short notice. It's still consensual, and with the nudity, I was around friends. It's okay when you're around friends.
And I would argue that France blows.
All right, whoa, hey.
Now, I would like to argue that there's a very distinct line between actual rape and just being flirtatious. I mean, has anybody seen Tony Stark?
As to your comment about starting the Olympics in the nude, I believe the point he was trying to make was that's how it started.
All right. So, no. I know you have something to say, but let's move on from this one. Oh, jeez. Who believes that the Italia fandom is guilty of defamation and slander against France and emotional distress? Innocent? France is, for the first time ever, vindicated. Let's try to tone the let's say the sexual innuendo down a little bit, because remember, this is not supposed to be 18+. All right. Well, come to Anime USA if you want that. Jeez. Well, then go to Anime Next, and if you can't, then you're just not trying.
All right. I would like to bring Sonic the Hedgehog up on genocide.
Well, Mario's been running up the flagpole enough. I guess it's time for another mascot.
Oh yeah, I'm getting to Mario. I'm gonna draw the parallel there. Okay. So we all know Dr. Robotnik. He took the animals and he put them in the robots. Now, Sonic destroyed those robots to free the animals. Now, you may think these are just cold, emotionless beings, but I'd like to bring up the E-series. Now, particularly E102 Gamma, and, well, the rest of them. That was a pretty sad thing. You could see they had emotion. They had feelings. The only thing they lacked was free will.
We also had guns.
Well, and guns, yeah. These were, and they could think for themselves. Well, I mean, not with free will, but they were intelligent. So, for all intents and purposes, these were intelligent animals that Sonic was just slaughtering with, he wasn't even a military agent, he wasn't assigned to this. He was just going around killing shit.
Language.
Oh, killing crap. Stuff.
Things
killing
and stuff.
I have, just so you know, when it comes to this, I have an extraordinarily low tolerance for bad language. All right, Otakon can stop me from coming back if that stuff happens, and I don't think you'd want to be the reason that all these people get upset.
Oh no. Okay. Now, you just brought up the Mario thing, but well, here's the thing. The Koopas, all those guys, they were military agents. Mario could presumably work under the princess, like they had some sort of private contract going, and the Koopas and the Goombas work under Bowser willingly.
We've done that case.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That was the whole Peaches and Nazi thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so just stick with Sonic.
Okay, yeah, whatever, Sonic. So, yeah, Sonic has been killing intelligent creatures with no free will, with no permission.
Yes, because we all know that in the animal kingdom, animals don't just kill other animals, do they?
Now,
but Sonic is also an intelligent animal living in my kingdom.
something to bring up real quick. Now, I played plenty of Sonic games, and there's almost always an animal flying off into the distance after you destroy the mechanical animal. So, I don't know what genocide you're talking about, man, because I've seen a bunch of pixels flying off to freedom.
Okay, for that I would like to bring up the case of Pitt versus Hades in the game Kid Icarus Uprising, where Hades mentioned he ate souls. Pitt was freaking out because they couldn't be reincarnated. Hades brought up that they're completely different people when they're reincarnated anyway, so...
So how is this reincarnation?
Yeah.
How are they not just trapped into the robots and being used as a power source?
Right.
Well, they are, but the robots are also intelligent, feeling beings.
Well, why are they not emulating the emotions of the animal itself?
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen a bunch of those animals be really freaking happy to be off on their own, man. So.
Well, the animals and the robots are two different things. That's the case I'm bringing up. That the robots are their own thing. Sonic is just going around murdering things that are barely indistinguishable from, well, humans. And
I think there's some robots that might have an argument with you. Thank you for your permission. I appreciate it. Yes.
I love Gamma, but when you're friends and you're trying to save them and your brother, what's the correct answer to saving them? Is it stop Robotnik from doing whatever he's doing, or put a bullet in their brain? Because it's the same thing. How does he save all of his friends? He kills them all. They're free. Free, my brothers, free.
In the black... Oh, the Team Rocket member there, yes.
Oh, blast off, come on.
Thanks for that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason Robotnik needed the animals was so that he could create them all, create all of the robots, and then take over something or another, and that's why Sonic was pissed in the first place. So without the animals, the robots can't function. Now, if the robots need the animals, then the robots are a shell.
Well, not necessarily. That's my entire point. Can you hear me? Well, yeah, not necessarily. My entire point is that the robots and the animals are two completely different entities. Like, if your heart was alive, would you kill yourself?
I'm really not exactly sure where you're going with this now.
And you know what? Are you familiar at all with any of the ancillary Sonic material outside of the games? You know, the comics, the animation, so on and so forth. Because they made that pretty clear that was pretty much mind control. Like that the animals inside of them were being mind controlled with, you know, and to become the evil robots that they were.
Robotnik's version of the brain device.
Right.
Those
So
aren't canon.
mind control does not equal, you know, I'm a completely unique robot person and there happens to be a animal inside of me. Like, that doesn't scream at me. The only one that you would even have a case for, I guess, is Mechasonic, because Mechasonic is just a robot.
And
That's it.
If he could do stuff. Oh, and Omega.
Yeah.
Angela.
Greetings!
Watch your acronym. The full title only.
Okay. My name is Dr. Apocalypse Syndrome, and I represent the Public Enterprise for New Innovations in Science. I will yell less. And I just want to say that this young man has keyed on to something that is wonderful, because we at the Public Enterprise have known for a long time that animal-controlled robots have sentience. We recently built a 50-story tall robotic replica of David Hasselhoff, powered by 75 squirrels and one very angry, depressed, divorced monkey. The monkey just needed a place to stay, and I was like, Bob, it's okay, you can stay in Hasselhoff. But Mechahoff actually has emotions. He has his own non-human drinking problem.
Question, do Germans love him?
Only robotic Germans.
Okay, good.
So Robotnik, for example.
Volkswagens love him.
So, if if you do not convict Sonic the Hedgehog of genocide, then you are saying you do not care about giant killer death Mecha Hasselhoff. And what sort of person would you be if you did that?
One of your arguments, Black Hat.
I was gonna
You
say,
get the case next, Snake, because I want to wrap on a high note.
in Sonic's defense, he had to go fast.
I wanted to ask, does that make the robots parasites?
Symbiotes, I imagine.
Symbiotes, yeah. Much similar to symbiotes, yeah.
All right, fine. Yes.
Simple thing. If it's a machine or a robot, and you break it, you get a replacement part, it's a fixed machine.
Yeah, especially if it's under Geek Squad.
Like they're useful. These are many extra parts. So if it's a sentient mass-produced machine, go back and fix it. You get that. It's once again a sentient mass-produced machine.
He's only broken it.
Well, what if Sonic has damaged it beyond repair?
Then Robotnik is not doing a particularly good job, is he?
Yeah.
All those who believe that Sonic is in fact guilty of genocide. Opposed? All right.
15 minutes.
I'm going to have to skip ahead because we're running a little short. And haven't you been a part of it? What's your case? On?
At Anime Next, there was an argument made that Dracula has every right to be that the Belmonts have every right to be upset with Dracula destroying the village.
Yes.
I would like to appeal that they don't, because have you heard about Dracula's backstory? Somewhere. Way back in the when his best friend became an evil cultist, wizard, satanic.
It's a bad person. Yes.
And he kidnapped his wife, murdered her in a blood ritual, and taunted him with it. And Dracula's response was, "I will destroy everything until I set her soul free." Many years later, the Belmonts suddenly turn up in this village through whatever they live there or something. They suddenly go, "I will protect the village, and let me break into your house, steal all of your food, steal all of your money, break all of your stuff, kill all of your friends, and stab you in the face." I'd be a little angry.
We did this with the Link case. Didn't we? Except for the stabbing your friends in the face thing. No, I mean, I sort of like. So, you stabbing my friends in the face. All right, trying to find a quick way to... Yes, go ahead, Ash. Yeah, the Vampire Mafia thing sort of, yeah.
There's always a Vampire Mafia.
No, we actually established the Vampire Mafia.
Yeah.
Well, then you just have to call out the Vampire Mafia, and they're there. All those who believe that Dracula should have full access to the Vampire Mafia.
How does he not?
You're welcome. You okay with that?
Boom.
All right. Because we're running short on time, I'm going to have to give it to Snake, because I promised him the wrap-up case. Now, they've been orchestrating this one all day.
Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a phenomenon that has occurred in this world, a devastating force that we have never known before. It is a force that has destroyed millions of homes, killed thousands of people, and we must find the cause. I, of course, am speaking about the terror known as the Sharknado. Now, my highly skilled team of researchers, also known as the computer that I don't use to look at porn, have been compiling a list of scientific facts in order to determine what could have caused the Sharknado. Well, after exhaustive research and a Wikipedia article, I have determined that there can only be one source. This, of course, is Link from The Legend of Zelda. Oh, hear me out. I am going somewhere with this. It's not going to make sense, but you're going to deal with it. So, everybody knows that there have been thousands, countless of Links throughout the history of Hyrule. And they keep respawning over and over. These individuals, one might say, are quantumly entangled to continually exist. And these quantumly entangled individuals will not stop spinning in circles. I submit to you that this constant spinning in circles of multiple Links across the timelines has caused a giant whirlwind to form in the Pacific Ocean and suck up millions of sharks and toss them across the landscape of this world.
It is obvious to the casual observer that the source of the Sharknado is obviously the Pegasi of Cloudsdale. Who, in their process of generating clouds, create large water spouts via the circulation of Pegasi, in conspiracy with one Fluttershy who communicates with animals. They obviously created a large water spout near the Pacific Ocean and one Santa Monica, and Fluttershy convinced her shark-like friends to join in to have a happy, fun time in the sky.
You heard it.
First of all,
Let 'em
I
get
don't
their
see
segment.
how you could establish a motivation, as little as I know about My Little Pony, because I swear I don't actually like it. I swear. I would like to, but that's a different case.
You say
How
that
can you
for the guy who
establish
works
a
at the
motive
Bibles wearing a
for someone as subdued as Fluttershy to create such a phenomenon? Now, I maintain there are few things that exist in this universe that are more confusing than a Sharknado, and therefore, there is only one entity capable of creating such a confusing phenomenon, namely Squid Girl.
Friends, countrymen, Romans, we have been... Squid Girl has gotten the raw deal for long enough. We all know that it was actually Dr. Apocalypse Syndrome.
I take offense to that, and Mecha Hasselhoff is sad. I cannot believe that you would say that the public enterprise for new innovations in science would ever create something like a Sharknado. A spider cane, maybe. a tiger soon.
Working on that, are we?
A gentle monkey drizzle. But not a Sharknado. We do not have the funding from Parliament to create such a magnificent but quite tacky weather event. And so I say that it is the magistrate who created the Sharknado. Because we have already pronounced him legally incompetent. And this is just another example of how legal incompetence will make the world a better place. Because if not for him, we wouldn't have the genius that was Sharknado.
Now, the Squire has something to add, okay?
Oh, really?
And there is only one solution. For me, it almost doesn't even matter who created the Sharknado originally. Thank you, because I screamed. There's only one solution to a Sharknado, and it's exactly 3 words. One of them hyphenated. Bat Shark Repellent. If the world increased their supply of Bat Shark Repellent, we would never have to deal with a Sharknado ever again. Thank you very much.
Maybe Batman created the Sharknado.
I was gonna ask, are you just blaming him for the weather because he's tall? That's
Nobody
height.
even tried to go there. Why did you have to do that?
Because there's no way to top Bat Shark Repellent, man.
Yes, that I keep forgetting your name, and with the red shirt and then the coat guy. Yeah, that's.
Who do you think created the Sharknado?
Sir, I would like to blame Naruto. They seem to love something big, and they have magical wind control powers, sir.
Are you writing down all the... Okay, all right, yes, next.
I also would like to submit that I have changed my mind, and I think this is an act of the Airbenders before the Fire Nation tried to destroy them.
2 things. If it was the magistrate that made the Sharknado, he should then entitled to have a Sharknado. But what I'm saying is that it wasn't any of these events. It was really just one pissed off legendary Pokemon in the bottom of the sea.
He does live in a pineapple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boy. Yes. Everybody who brought up an argument everybody who brought up an accusation should be up here. So if you have accused somebody, you stay up here. Because we gotta vote on who did it.
Folks, I don't think any of these are the ones that made the Sharknado. What I think it's the Disney Corporation. Think about it. They've taken Marvel. They've taken Star Wars. They even made a giant Zord toy. They would make your shark repellent just to sell to protect people. It is Disney who is the true evil and the mastermind of the Sharknado.
So you're saying that Disney used Ponyo Ponyo under the sea to create the Sharknado?
And just to add, they would not make that shark repellent. That is a DC property. Booyah.
France.
Stark brand shark repellent.
Since somebody addressed the Eternals building of Lynx swirling, I would like to suggest that they use the Eternal transformations of the magical girls.
Well, they always spin around. There's always spinning, I guess, yeah.
I thought you were going to suggest that Rape did it.
Come on.
I can't think of a single magical girl that uses sharks.
All right, this giant pile of hair materialized in the front row. I'm sort of curious what she has to say.
Well, we're ignoring the possibility of Sharknado being a natural occurrence and the possibility of it happening before. I mean, they say an asteroid killed the dinosaurs, but do we really know?
Oh, that's I like that. That's
Are you saying there's a megalodon NATO?
That's why they're extinct too.
Well, Snake, it would have to be because a plesiosaur NATO would be pretty pathetic.
It was Gaia from Captain Planet, wasn't it? She has the power to do that. You're right.
Come on. Let's.
Well, I'm not saying there was a, megalodon NATO, but have you ever seen a megalodon NATO and a Sharknado in the same room?
Oh my God! Oh, you are awesome, by the way. Yes. I like this. Is a great way to wrap that. I've never had such a widespread of wrapping up a session of Parliament before. Go ahead.
I'd like to bring Link back onto the table because I don't think it's exactly a far stretch to say that Link couldn't create something that is demonic from the water. I mean, they created the water temple.
Is that what happens when you play the Song of Storms in the Water Temple?
Ricardo, pick a number from 1 to 10.
7.
Next to the girl in the Pokemon hat. For the last accusation. I did it at random. I don't know that man named Ricardo who I've been hanging out with for years.
Okay. I would like to accuse, instead of all these other people, Usa-chan from Oron High School House Club, because it is obvious that this bunny is a demon. So it is obvious that he created some sort of explosion to start the Sharknado.
I'll allow it.
Usa-chan.
Okay, so.
Oh God!
But the real question is, have we ever seen the Usa-chan and the Megalodon NATO in the same room?
Alright. Since pointing isn't going to do me any good. Okay. Ready to take these tallies, Jamie? Okay. Everybody in the room may only vote once. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. The democratic process is so horrible. All those who believe that the bunny created the Sharknado. Nine. All those who believe
that our magistrate created the Sharknado.
Really? I may have a solid gold whale lord, but all right, maybe I did do it. No.
19.
Okay, cool. All those who believe
a quantum entanglement of links.
right.
I hate you all.
Okay, so these two are the same. I like you. You should stick around. I like you. All those who believe
That the Sharknado was a natural occurrence and wiped out the dinosaurs.
You might have this one. You might have this one. Are you counting? Who's counting? You're counting?
I'm typing. Hold on.
I think it's one. Coach, what are you doing?
You're 43.
40. Wow. All right. All those who believe France did. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. That's not a legitimate vote. Yeah, but it's the law doing it this time. What are you going to do about it? So, all those who believe that
The magical girls' eternal transformations caused them.
One.
I vote for this one also.
3. Okay.
I get 2 votes.
All those who believe
the evil Disney Corporation.
Wow. The Disney beat out the dinosaur.
Just like in ancient times.
Yeah, you saw Land Before Time, didn't you? 52. Oh boy. I'm sorry. I do so wanted you to win, but it's not my call. All the
Disney is the cause.
Disney.
all those who believe
the Sharknado was caused by the Pegasi of Cloudsdale.
Goose egg.
all those who think Fluttershy did it. There are apparently 4 people in the room who don't like Fluttershy. Okay. All those who believe Squid Girl, who is really confusing.
Like 1? 2? You don't know how confusing Squid Girl is.
All right, 3.
She's a squid and she's
Dr. Apocalypse Syndrome.
Yeah, somehow.
awesome.
Somehow against Disney, I didn't think he'd hold up.
You guys are
Pissed
dumb.
off legendary water Pokemon have done it.
Did Lugia do it? No? No? Okay.
I would like to blame the Naruto ninjas.
Well, guys, guess what? Disney did it.
And the only solution is DC brand Bat Shark Repellent. Thank you.
And that's a wrap, guys. Thank you very much for coming.